Hello. So today we'll be reviewing the chapter 5 of this awesome book, Comprehensive Digital Marketing Guide. Today is going to be more of tips and things to do when you are promoting your product and services on the internet. So today we have the topic social media approach. That is the chapter 5 of this book, social media approach. So what are those things you need to pay attention to while advertising your product and services on the internet? So we want to look at them today. Okay, so social media user statistics 2023. So I'm going to give you some statistics about some of the social media findings and analysis that have been carried out in 2023. So here it says that with 4.9 billion users worldwide, social media accounts for 60.49% of the world's population. By 2027, there will be 5.85 billion social media users worldwide, according to projections. Facebook has 3.03 billion users, making it the largest social media network. The penetration rate of social networks worldwide is 59.4%. An average social media user engages with 6.6 different social media networks. As of 2023, 26% of the world's social media users are in Eastern Asia. 57% of the 5.27 billion mobile phone users worldwide utilize social media. The nation with the most social media users is China, with 1.02 billion users, ranking in the top 3 with 755.47 million and 302.25 million users respectively are United States and India. So the top 3 social media users in the whole world are China, United States of America, and India. An individual typically spends 2 hours and 35 minutes each day on social media. The most active users of social media are millennials and Gen Zs, with a remarkable 105% increase in users in the United States over the previous 2 years. TikTok is the social network with the quickest rate of growth. The social media statistics by demand age are quite a handful and vital to utilize for marketing and to effectively sell any product or services. Okay, so these statistics that you've heard now means that social media is a very important place to utilize to manage or to promote your products and your services. So there are a lot of things that I've written here that I won't be reading out. I will be taking the silent point. I will be reading out some major points that you need to pay attention to. If you are fortunate to afford this book from any Market Square supermarket or from Hyper City supermarket or from the number that will be displayed on this video, or just by going to the website also displayed in this video, you should be able to grab a copy of this book and then pay attention to these things I've written down for your own knowledge. So what are the techniques for successful social media promotion? I'm going to give you a few of the techniques. There are a lot of the techniques there. I'm going to read them out, a few of them, but for you to actually grasp the whole information, you need to have a copy of this book so that you can always practice along. So a successful social cycle consists of 4 stages. Pay attention to these 4 stages because whatever you do on social media revolve around these 4 stages. So you need to pay attention to them. You need to study them. You need to master them and then craft your advertisements to be able to reach your target audience. Not only reaching your target audience, you should be able to close your sales, right? You should be able to win a customer who will buy, and not just buying from you alone. The customer need to become a loyal customer by returning back to you to buy more from you or to patronize you more in any services you are rendering. Okay, so the 4 stages are listening, 2, influencing, 3, interacting, 4, vending. Okay, stage 1, social listening. Let me read out these 2 paragraphs, then we go to the next page and look at what we have there. Prioritizing the target audience is crucial, as is the case with every marketing strategy. Consequently, the initial phase of social media marketing involves active listening. The development of an effective social strategy necessitates the execution of this action. Individuals are engaging with you through various social media platforms and engaging in discussion about your person regardless of your level of attentiveness. The individuals are engaged in discourse regarding their experiences with your item. The individuals are engaged in a discourse about your verbal and behavioral expression. Enquiries are being received from the aforementioned individuals. Let me explain this in a simple term. This is because as a product seller or as a service provider, you are in the public place. You may have advertised your product or your services on social media, or maybe a walk-in customers went to your office and they saw something. It could be the way your branding was made shabbily. It could be the way your staff was dressed. It could be the way your receptionist attended to that particular prospect. It could be the way your structure is. It could just be anything about your product. It could be the packaging of your product. It could be the service you provided that was not satisfactory to this particular person. So the person can talk, because you cannot stop the people from talking, because they are coming in contact with your product and your services. So they will eventually talk. And where is the closest place to talk, or the most affordable place to talk now, is on social media. And these people use different kinds of social medias. It could be that this person is a guru in TikTok, or it could be that, oh, this particular person is Instagram. If you go to Instagram, you'll see him everywhere. He has large followership. It could be a Facebooker who, once he posts something on Facebook, people will jump at it and then they'll begin to respond and talk. So people will always talk. So people will always talk about your product, whether it was good or bad. People will always talk. So you need to have a listening ear. How do you listen? You need to be active on these social media platforms. That's why you cannot afford to stay out of social media. You don't need to behave like those Stone Age people that say, oh, I don't do social media. Social media is for small people. No, it's not for small people. It's for everybody. In as much as you are serving the public, you need to listen to what people are saying. You will see some banks, some new generation banks, you see people calling them out. Oh, I carried out a transaction at your ATM machine and it swallowed my card. And up till now, I've not gotten a refund. I've not gotten my card back. Or I was wrongly debited and I've not gotten a reversal. Because they cannot, most of these people, they don't even have the time to start coming to your office to come and complain. Because by the time they come to the bank premises, there is a lot of crowd. They'll ask them to fill a form, at the end of the day, nobody will attend to them. So they can just go to Facebook, they could go to Twitter, they could go to Instagram and then vent their anger. And I've seen in so many instances that people complained and most of these banks came and responded almost immediately. Most of them, I will give them that credit. I've seen a couple of instances where someone complain and say, oh, your bank did so and so, I make a transfer and the transfer failed, yet I was debited, but the person never got the money, and the bank responded and say, please, can you speak to us in our DM? Or they ask for a couple of things. Okay, please go to so and so place and make your complaint. This is what every individual who is selling any product or services should be doing. You need to listen. How do you listen? You need to be active on social media platforms. Most MDs and CEOs say, I don't have time for social media, wahala. You don't need to do it yourself. You engage your key staffs. You appoint a personnel that will be in charge of your social media platforms. This book can teach them how to engage actively on social media platforms. Okay, so you delegate them to be able to listen. When they get the complaints or the recommendation, they bring feedback to the team. Okay, so you cannot neglect social media in this time and age, right? So social listening, right? So you need to listen. Now, there are some things that you need to pay attention to. The objectives of social listening. Now, let's look at the objectives of social listening. Are you listening to anything? Your objectives while monitoring social media conversations are to, 1, monitor how the public view your brand. You need to know what people are saying about your brand. You don't just keep quiet. You don't have those beautiful designs, beautiful graphics, beautiful office spaces, beautiful staff, and you don't want to know what other people are saying, what prospects are saying, even your competitors. You need to listen to know what everyone is saying about your brand, about your product and your services. 2, determine the subject you should be discussing. 3, monitor the state, direction, and perception of the industry. Conduct market research. Carry out comparative analysis. So you need to pay attention to these things. Do not neglect them, because social media is the force. If any influencer or anyone with large followers takes your matter to social media and begin to talk trash about your product or your services, your brand is gone. Before you begin to do damage control to be able to revive it, you would have spent a lot of money, because you will still need the influencers to also remedy that tarnished image. So you need to prevent it before it occurs. Now, pay close attention to these 4 items in particular. These 4 items I want to read out now. You need to pay attention to them. I will not read the details below, but I will just read out the sub headlines. So these 4 particular items. 1, your brand. Pay attention to your brand. 2, pay attention to your industry. Pay attention to your rivals and influencers. I just mentioned something about influencers now. Influencers can make or mar your product. This is because by the time they drop an opinion, it becomes a narrative, and people begin to run with that narrative. People that have not even heard about you, but because it came from somebody they follow, somebody they always follow their narrative, it just becomes their opinion. So whether you are doing well or not, they don't care. They can just condemn your product for that simple reason. Okay, so you need to pay attention to influencers, your rivals, the industry, and then your brand. So these are the 4 items you need to pay attention to. So when you read down, you'll be able to get the other tips I gave about these items. Okay, now the 3-step plan for social customer services. So I'm going to give you 3 steps. There are also things to read about here. Okay, let me look at this. To achieve success, it is imperative for social media marketing to embody authenticity and human characteristics. When addressing a complaint, it is imperative to establish a sense of empathy, de-escalate the issue, and exhibit compassion and empathy towards the individuals involved. Just like the example I gave, if a bank customer comes online and posts something and say, I tried making a transfer with my mobile app, I was debited, but the recipient didn't receive the transfer. Okay, what the bank operators, the social media operators of this bank should do, they should put that human face to this problem, because this is someone's money we're talking about here, right? So the person addressing this complaint should address it with empathy, right? So that is what this page, you need to put a human face to that, even if you cannot resolve the issue, but you should be able to direct the complainant to a better channel that his situation will be addressed. Okay, so now there are 3 sequential steps involved in accomplishing the task. 1, react right away. So when you are reacting right away, react with empathy. Then secondly, have empathy. Okay, while you are reacting, react and then have empathy. Then number 3, transfer it to an exclusive channel. There is a channel, there is a department that handles failed transactions. For instance, as we're addressing the bank, there is a channel that addresses failed transactions. So that department should be able to handle that complaint. Okay, so for every complaint that comes across this particular person who is the social media manager of this organization, he or she should be able to address it and then channel it to the right department that will handle it. So there are other things that you need to look at in this particular topic, social listening. Now let's go to number 2. Number 2 stage is social influencing. Okay, the phenomenon wherein an individual or entity possesses the capacity to shape the perspectives of others within a digital community through social media platform is commonly referred to as social media influencing within the realm of marketing discourse. So social influencing, you can also become an influencer as a product, as a brand. You can also shape the narrative. You can shape the narrative by, promoting your product in a way that people will fall in love with it and then begin to talk about it. Okay, so instead of having fans like celebrities have fans, you will now build loyal customers, returning customers who will be buying from you because you are influencing them with good products and services. Okay, so in social media platforms, you can become an influencer yourself. So now let's look at it. The utilization of social media influence by businesses has the potential to enhance brand awareness, inventory sales, and customer engagement. So while you as a brand may be limited to the number of people you can talk to, even though you are building a formidable brand and a reputable product and services, you also need those influencers who have large followers. Okay, so that by the time they talk about your product, okay, people will want to key into their opinion because they are like the initiators of these narratives, so they can define the narrative. Okay, so by the time they begin to define the narrative, people will begin to run along with that their statement or their narratives. Okay, so as a product, as a brand, you need to utilize the services of influencers. Okay, so there are several things that you can do here that I've also outlined. Like this place says, you simply define the narrative. Okay, so you define the narrative with your product and you channel the attention of your prospect to that particular narrative and they begin to run with it. Okay, objectives in social influencing. In this stage of social success cycle, Your goals are to, one, raise brand and content engagement. Start a discussion about subjects about your company. Increase website visitors. Increase awareness of your deals and merchandise. Extend your list for retargeting. Okay, so by the time you start influencing in favor of your product and your services, you begin to have more visitors to your website. You begin to create more awareness. You begin to have instant buyers or prospective buyers coming, keen in line to begin to patronize you. Okay, so these are the things you need to pay attention to. There are a couple of other things that you need to look at here to the metrics to monitor. You can read this book and then get to understand all this, but you need to have a very strong presence on these social media platforms. The third stage is social interaction. Social interaction refers to the act of nurturing and sustaining interpersonal connections with acquaintances, relatives, colleagues, and customers through the use of digital platforms for social networking. Social networking platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, X, and other similar websites serve both corporate and social objectives. Social networking platforms offer a significant opportunity for marketers seeking to engage with consumers. As of February 1, 2023, Facebook had a staggering 2 billion daily members, solidifying its position as the preeminent and widely embraced social networking platform. TikTok, LinkedIn, Pinterest, X, Instagram, and WhatsApp are among the popular social networking platforms. Okay, so you need to utilize all these platforms. Okay, you need to utilize all of them. Then let's go to, there are a lot of other things that you need to look at. The objective. Okay, your objectives for social interacting. The objectives at this stage of social success cycle is to effectively distribute materials that fills the voids created by your existing content. The content has the potential to cater to various levels of proficiency or exhibit a thematic correlation. Promote positive attitudes and favorable perceptions towards brands that have a resemblance to your own. Over time, transform that positive sentiment into fruitful partnership. Stage 4, social vending. The utilization of social media platforms throughout the whole sales process, including prospecting, expert positioning, developing social relationships, and moving prospects through the sales funnel until the solution is presented, is commonly referred to as the sales strategy of social vending. In contrast, social vending seeks to augment sales principles rather than supplant them. Social media vending provides salespeople with the opportunity to engage in direct interactions with the prospective clients, eliminating the need for traditional methods such as cold calling, purchasing contact lists, or pursuing unqualified leads. So, by the time you must have listened to the conversation in social media about your products, about your brands, and you have engaged your prospects, you now need to close the call. You need to now sell your product. You need to now sell your service to the customer. So this social vending is that last process of sealing the deal. Yes, you have talked to this person, you have already communicated to them, you've listened to them, you've gotten influencers to influence for you, and then you've interacted with them and disseminated information about your product and services to these prospects. Now, you now need to seal the deal. You now need to sell your product. Okay? So, this process, it's now for you to utilize all the necessary salespeople's approach to be able to sell your product or services. Okay? Now, on the process of going through all these 4 stages, you are going to be having what is called call to action. Call to action are things you will engage your customers or your prospects to do while they are going through this sales process. You ask them to provide information, to provide maybe their phone number, their email, so you can reach out to them, or you want to ask them to sign up for a particular form or to tell you what they feel about your product. So these are call to actions, okay? Or you may even direct them to call a particular number or send a direct message, and then you take it from. So by the time you engage your prospects like this, it means they are actually interested, and then you are leading them through the process. So that way you are leading them through the process of buying from you. Okay? So what constitutes effective social selling? One of the most straightforward strategies to employ is known as funneling. We're going to talk about sales funnel in a later chapter, but that process is called funneling. Nonetheless, a range of strategies will be employed, including blogging, pay-per-click advertising, and retargeting in order to entice users into the marketing channel. So you'll be doing a lot of things like advertising, blogging constantly, and then identifying your target audience so that you can blog things that will be relevant to them. Okay, so when you do all these things, you are capturing the attention of the customer to be able to buy from you. Let's go straight to the objectives of selling on social media. At this point, you want to generate leads to expand your email list, bring in new clients, and upsell, cross-sell current ones, boost purchasing frequency to convert one-time client into ardent supporter. So you want to convert someone who had bought from you to become a frequent buyer. That is a loyal customer or a supporter who supports your product, your services, and your brand. Okay, so these are the things you need to take care of while selling your product on social media. You also read about the aspects to monitor, and then we're going to look at promotions that you need to do, purchases, public relations, community coordinator. So you need to pay attention to all these things. Like I said, you will need to get a copy of this book so that you'll be able to digest this vital information. You need to digest it and practice it one step at a time to promote your product and services, because the social media has a lot of population, has a lot of potential customers that are ready to buy from you. Not just only those on social media. The truth is, by the time the people on social media buys from you, they will go and tell their colleagues who are not on social media. They will go and tell their relatives who are not on social media. They will go and tell their friends who are not on social media. They will go and tell people about this product that they bought from you. And they will have no other choice than to be the one advertising your product and your services to those people, which is called word of mouth. Okay, so this will not be word of mouth marketing on your behalf. So you need to take advantage of this enormous opportunity on social media to promote your product and services. Because if you are a business person, you have a formidable business, and you do not have a strong internet presence, like I always say, you are losing vital customers. So take advantage of social media and promote your product and services to reach potential customers who will definitely become loyal customers to your product and your services. Where can you get these books and other of my books? You can get these books from any Market Square supermarket nationwide. You can get it from any Hypercity supermarket. You can also call the phone number on this video or just send a WhatsApp message to place your order. Or you can go to the website www.dm-prof.com to place your order. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like, share, comment. If you have any question, you can ask, I will respond, okay? If you need a phone call, you can put a call across, I will respond, okay? So subscribe and then share this good news. Let's all create a formidable business and a strong internet presence to promote our product and services, because there are lots of customers on social media to reach everyone. Thank you and God bless.